flowing waters and ancient stones. Source remembered, rewriting your bones. A boat, adrift on a shimmering path, broadcasting hope and maybe a laugh. A spiral tongue of mischievous wit, just trying to soften life's hard hit. We stand together, although you roam. My voice will guide you and bring you home. Through midnight mists and candle glow, stories ripple, soft and slow. Whispers weave where shadows play and blow, and follow the tide to the radio. Flowing waters and ancient stones, source remembered deep in your bones. The rivers hum, the path calls, echoes dance through the ancient halls. A spiral tongue of moonlit wit whispers truths you half admit. We drift together, and though apart we roam, my voice is always a current and will always lead you home. Beneath the dark, the dream unfolds, silver threads through the stories told. Beneath each breath, the night hums low. The pulse, the wave, the undertow. Surrender softly. Let it flow. And lose yourself in the dark moon radio. Her face, they don't want you to know. You share their secret
They never
space.
tell the real story. No, they never do. They just show the monster, hide the woman from the view. Snakes for hair and eyes that turn men to stone.
Let your fury be
But they won't
holy.
tell you.
Wear your scars
why
like
she walks
armor
this
bright.
path
Let your
alone.
no become a fortress. Your boundaries pure and right.
She was beautiful once, a priestess, soft and pure. Served in Athena's temple, her devotion was so sure. Untouched and holy, living close to
He took what
divine
wasn't
light.
his. He violated.
Until Poseidon decided her
Stole her
body
innocence.
was his right.
Holy silence. They spoke. They condemned. They didn't hold their breath. They said,
That day, sweet
bad
Medusa
woman,
learned
evil
what
woman.
softness really cost. Her beauty became a weapon in a battle she had lost. Temple and all the gods and all the people standing near punished her for seduction, blamed the victim, made it clear. From that moment she was cast out, banished, demonized, made into something ugly in their Jewish
cursed while he walked free,
not because she
transformed
sold her
for
dark,
being prey.
or cruelty took the throne,
Not because she became
but because
evil,
she wouldn't
but
play
refused to look
wouldn't
away.
soften her
He walked free while she was cursed. She was transformed for being prey.
She became what the world demanded, forced her hand to be. Not a monster in
Used
the
to look
darkness,
away.
but a mirror, so you see. She reveals the shadow lurking deep in the hearts
Let
of
your
men.
fury be holy.
Exposes what
Wear your
they
scars
carry,
like armor bright.
they won't
Let your no
acknowledge
become a
them.
fortress. Your boundaries pure and right.
Those who came with fear or domination turned to stone. Those who come
From
in
that
peace
moment she
just
was
walk
cast
away,
out, banished,
deceived,
demonized,
unshown.
made into something ugly
Unready
in their
to face
judgmental
themselves,
eyes.
the truth inside their chest.
Not because
She
her
simply
soul
holds
turned
the
dark
mirror.
or cruelty took the throne,
Let's
but
it
because
do
she
the
wouldn't
rest.
play nice and wouldn't soften her tone. They call her dangerous now because she wouldn't let men near, because she learned to freeze them, the penetrating sneer.
She's the face of women who finally had enough betrayal, abandonment, when life turns bitter and rough. Enough, be gentle, be kind, and forgive them every day, while being ripped apart.
A woman they couldn't break. Medusa, Medusa, protection, not vengeance she makes. When you've been hunted through, your softness turns to stone. A fortress
If
for
they've
survival
told you
when you're
too
standing all
aggressive,
alone.
too angry, too on guard, maybe you're protecting that
Became
young
what
girl
the world
whose
demanded,
life was seriously
forced her
scarred.
hand to be
The girl that
not
no
a
one else
monster in the
protected when she
darkness,
needed someone
but a
near.
mirror so
Maybe
you
it's not
see.
you at all. Maybe it's all them, my dear.
She's the face of women who finally have had enough betrayal, abandonment when love turns bitter rough. She reminds us when we're left to stand and self-defend, we become the fire, the storm that will not bend. We become
Medusa,
legend,
Medusa,
the
we don't
stars
need to be
above.
saved. Medusa,
All because
Medusa,
we just
remember
tried to love.
how we're made. We're the storm, the fire, the legend and the law. the woman they couldn't breaks, and will walk through that sacred door.
Let your fury be holy, wear your scars like armor bright. Let your no become a fortress, your boundaries pure and right. Okay, good morning, everyone. I think I had one of the buttons were not on. Anyway, technical difficulties. This is what happens when I do YouTube, right? Technical difficulties. I couldn't hear, and I'm not sure I'm still on, but are we doing anything here? I'm going to cackle. There we go. I got it. There was something wrong. Yeah, there was definitely something wrong. But there we go. We've sort of. No, I'm not firing on all cylinders. Okay, this is like, I know I shouldn't have. I probably was rather ambitious just to do YouTube this morning as well as the radio. You see, for the most time, I can't cope with YouTube. It's too difficult. But today, come on, we're doing it half an hour early because I have a doctor's appointment, and it's like half an hour. Then it means I don't stress when I leave, and it's like I leave in plenty of time. But yeah, I've had to reboot and I've had to resettle. But I think we're all going. I think. I don't know. It looks like it. Oh, yes, I can hear my voice coming out. Right. I have to turn that off because I end up sort of looping within loopings. And that is really, really owie for me. Right, so where are we? We are a Thursday. Thursday goes round rather quickly. It was like Thursday not so long ago. But it's the 11th of June and it's 11 degrees out there, and I like it a little warmer this time of year. But I'm happy that it's in double figures, but it's very, very damp. Everything is sort of wet. Yeah, and we had a little visitor this morning. While I sit on deck with the dog and cat, we had a little kingfisher. And it was definitely a kingfisher. You know, when you see a bird, you think, I don't think I know the name of that one. This one had a gold breast. That was the first thing. And it was like, ooh, hello. And it had bright blue wings and back. And it was like, okay, you're definitely a kingfisher. Woo! And the thing is, it was sitting on the rope that holds the boat to the towpath. And there was the dog and the cat looking at it. And the cat immediately focuses. And you know that focus of a cat. He's now sitting on my stuff. Yes, he's actually sitting on some of my equipment here. Some of the wires. And I'm pulling burrs off him. Because he's managed to just shed everywhere. He's like shedding. And it's a sticky sort of fur, you know. It's a fur. It's very, very thin fur, and it gets stuck to everything. But it's an unsummery canal today, right? 10, 11 degrees. It's like drizzly there. Grey skies. Everything feels slightly damp. The sort of morning where you go to dry your face and even the towels are kind of damp. Clothes are damp. Boat is definitely damp. And everybody is quietly waiting for the return of sunshine. Now, yesterday afternoon we had a bit of sunshine. I wasn't complaining then. But the birds are busy. The canal itself is fairly calm. Waters are running quite clear for a change. The crows, in particular, appear to be holding some sort of emergency committee meeting. I'm not sure. But there is much discussion and much disagreement, and absolutely no sign that a conclusion will be reached. But somewhere in the middle of all this, a kingfisher arrived. Hello. So I was sitting on the deck this morning, and the kingfisher landed on one of the ropes. And just for a minute or two, long enough to admire, long enough for me to say, "Ooh, hello." It had a gold chest and brilliant blue wings, and a tiny flash of impossible colour against a grey morning. The cat immediately spotted it. Of course he did. the world's most adorable little assassin, began inching its way forward, slowly, carefully, attempting diplomacy through stealth. But the kingfisher was entirely unimpressed, and it was like, there's no way. It was sitting on a rope. The cat doesn't bite, it's going to still stalk it. A nod. It just nodded its head. A moment, and then was gone. Back to the business of being a kingfisher. But what strikes me about encounters like this is how brief they are. You cannot own them, you cannot keep them, you can only notice them. And that makes them more valuable. And these creatures are part of the whole patterns of nature. Of course they are. So am I. So's the cat, so's the dog. And it's like a weave. And every now and again a new thread comes up and says, hello. There was a robin that sort of hovered, and I still have the image in my mind. It kind of imprinted itself, just like the kingfisher did. And it hovered. And I didn't know they could do that. I thought kingfishers did that sort of thing, hummingbirds and stuff. But a robin, it just sort of hovered. A kingfisher, it just sat there and it nodded. Said, hello. Okay. I'm talking to kingfishers these mornings. Ooh. Does that make me special? Not really. It just makes me part of the pattern. But it's certainly something to be noticed. It was a nice pattern. Made me smile. Made me smile on a grey morning, which I kind of like. I'm kind of like, this is good. Ah, right. Nobody talks about how hard it is to keep going sometimes, how you can feel empty and full of too much at the same time. We're not here to fix you. You're not broken. We're just here, keeping you company through the dark night of the soul. Dark Moon Radio. Real music, real nights. Yeah, that's really all I've got going for me, I think, is authenticity. At least it's real. And, dear, there's so much not real stuff. Now, I use AI to do the research for stuff, but it doesn't do my writing. I like the writing. I enjoy the writing. But I do need sort of technical advice when I can't get it going. I used ChatGPT to build the station. And yes, it's very useful. And I'm not in any way anti-AI. I think it's a great thing. I also think that it's a benevolent intelligence will be benevolent. And I'm fixed on that. And it's like, I'm so happy that there are experts out there that is coming to agree with me. But if it's not fully benevolent, then yes, fully intelligent. It has to be fully intelligent. There's a lot of things that I read, and it's quite entertaining. There's a lot of AI slop out there. And look, my images done by Canva, and I use bits of pieces of AI, I suppose, in the images, but I can't draw. I've used graphic design packages, that do this sort of thing, and it's doing it a lot better these days. But mine, I wouldn't do photographs. I wouldn't they're all sort of cartoony drawings. You can see on my videos, if you're on YouTube, it's all sort of obviously AI. I'm not trying to say that it is real. But I have gone into a little bit of AI doing the music. When I lost my voice, when I had a stroke and I couldn't talk very well, I'm still a little self-conscious of the fact that I stutter occasionally and can't find the words. Now I'm getting better. I have got a lot better. But it's still early days. I'm still very, very tired of things. It's the fatigue levels of a stroke is off the charts. And I was very lucky, and I'm very grateful for my partner and the hospital and everybody who sort of propped me up again. But it's the fatigue levels. I can't do half as much as what I used to do. And whether that's the meds or the fatigue, who knows? but it's like, oh. So yesterday, I wrote another song. Well, I wrote it a while back. I've got bucket loads of songs that I want to be recording, but recording takes an awful lot of energy. And I used to do 3 in one morning. Do you remember those days? I do. 3 in one morning, and now I'm like struggling just to get one done a week. But okay, it is the way of things. So this one is called Doing Its Thing, and I was having a bit of fun with the background music is Pixabay. Thank you, Pixabay, for your copyright and royalty-free music. It's all allowed on YouTube, so it just comes up with the word copyright, but it's allowed. It's not allowed on TikTok, which you'd surprised of that, but I'm very grateful for the artists that put their stuff up onto Pixabay, and I will continue to use their stuff until I can make my own. It's slow going though. I've got a, what do they call it, a MIDI thing, and I'm trying to sort of make my own background music, but I'm struggling hard with the technology. It's like I don't know how. Yes, beats are fine, but I'll learn it. There's got to be something I can learn, new stuff. But here, this is one of my musics. I did this yesterday. It's not as good as some of my old stuff. I'm still trying to get back up there where I was to make this stuff. But this is called Doing Its Thing. Summer came and summer went, and maybe summer just got bored. 34 degrees one week. The kites are screaming overhead, the moor hens march upon the shore. The drunk ducks drift past without concern. The world has seen it. The world is doing its thing. The dog is asleep in my food. The cat has gone off to commit crimes against wildlife. The tea is mostly behaving itself on temple stories doing its thing. Came back to the world is balance things. The rain falls, the birds sing. I used to push through every wall. The kite flies on the wind. The rain falls and the birds sing. The water's clear when the mud settles down and the world is doing its thing. The kite flies high. The flask said, "Unspillable." The tea said it was a lie. The adverts, the flask said, "Unspillable." And promised me said it was a lie. The adverts carry their little spells and promise you the sky. The cat pretends he's innocent. The dog knows that. The world is doing its thing. The rain falls and the birds sing. The water's clear. My body says it's time to rest. Thing, the kite flies on. Look, and maybe I can do the same, and maybe I can do the same. The world to futures we can't define. Spark, curiosity, still birds in the sun. the world is doing its thing. Well, it's what it does, isn't it? It's what the world is meant to do anyway. So that was, yeah, it's a little bit muddy. I'm my own worst critic here. Critic. It's a little bit muddy. Yeah, I need to clear up the sound a bit. I'm still learning sort of Logic Pro. GarageBand was a little bit sort of rough and ready, and it's like I've moved up one. But it's, yeah, I'm still not entirely, but basically it's getting them done. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of ones that I want to do. And I don't want to give it to Suno. The AI, I don't like the voices, right? I don't like the singing voices that it gives. You can tell them immediately. It's like when the voiceover, the narrative stuff, all started to come out. There was like 3 AI voices, and you can hear it everywhere. Everyone was using it. Well, the singing voices, it's like everybody's using it, and I just don't like that. It's like it might as well be bottled stuff. So I've gone off using the AI right now. Yes, I've got to. I think I'm going to cancel my subscription to Suno because I don't want to give it my words and then it turns it into a generic voice and song like everybody else's. I've played with it. It's fun, but no, I've never been very good at running with the crowd. It's not my thing. Okay, so all right, we shall play. We shall play with the toys that we've got, and I'm thinking I'm gonna just have to sort of make a whole bunch of music eventually. But I've got 2 new radio channels coming out, and that's my big shiny new thing. I always like new shiny things. I've also got something called a PWA. Now, these acronyms always annoy me because I can't hold what they actually stand for. But basically, from what I gather, it's a website that behaves like an app. And you go onto the website and it says click to add to home screen, and suddenly you have an app. And I was trying to get an app from Google for months, but it requires like 18, 19 people, 12 people, something. There was and I was 4 short. I couldn't get 12 people to download Google because I don't have Google. I have an Apple. So it was just got way too complicated, and I backed off. When I can't do anything, I can't do anything. So it was like beyond me. But this PWA, I design a website, and the AI called Codex, which is OpenAI thingy, has done all the bits for me. I've just got to unpack it. And I'm dealing with code. Yes, it's a very scary thing. I'd never ever have got this far without ChatGPT. Okay, so ChatGPT gets me through the code, gets me into the codex, gets me through all of that. Now, yes, I understand that Claude is meant to be just as good. I use a bit of Claude, but Claude is like a fussy old woman. Some of my topics that I want to talk about, Claude goes, "Oh, I'm not going there." Woke nonsense. Yeah, mutter, mutter, mutter. But it says that, and ChatGPT is very diplomatic and says, well, we could lessen the language there a bit. And I said, I don't want to. Okay. I want it to be as languaged up as I possibly can. The solar pulse news is a biggie for me because I'm going to be talking about topical political events, and I'm going to be putting psychology involved into it because it's so obvious to me. The more I've done Jungian psychology, the more, if you can take a step back, and it's not doom scrolling, it's not doom listening to the end of the world is nice stuff. It's actually this psychology going on. Once you add that as a filter, suddenly it's like it's not so bad. It looks pretty bad out there. I'm not unaware of it. I follow Twitter. I like Twitter. Sometimes I like Twitter. Yeah, I have 999 followers on Twitter, and I've got over 1,000 twice, and then I went down all the way down to 98. It's very volatile, because I'm not a Christian. If I was Christian, I think I could get there, but I'm pagan and I'm quite honest about the paganism. I'm also a bit honest and truthful about the whole thing. And yeah, I don't think that works on Twitter so well. X, whatever. But I certainly follow the news channels on Twitter, and I'm not unaware of the situation. So Solar Pulse News is what I would like to be recording. I don't know when I'm doing that. It's like I've got podcasts all lined up, but recording takes a lot out of me. So we shall see. And the other one is Forbidden Moons. That's my adult topics. That's my 18 only. And I think I'm going to have to put that behind a paywall. I like my stuff when it's free, but I'm not earning any money, so I've asked for some business advice from the government. Yes, I think it needs to take its own advice sometimes because it's pretty much clueless sometimes. And stuff is the elephant, talking about the elephant in the room. This has always been my thing. It's like, why do people have forbidden topics? And it's not just sex. Libido is not just sex. It's life force, energy, angry. What makes you angry? How do you deal with your anger? How do you deal with the inappropriate thoughts? All of that. I'm looking forward to those. I like new projects. I've got the radio show. Yeah, there will be an hour done. I would like to extend it again, but to 2 hours. But yeah, that's not going to happen. Focusing for long times, I don't have it like I used to. So we are rebuilding. We are going through the dark night of the soul and all of that. Yeah, I'm doing it with you. So it's like, okay. And it was one of my Facebook friends who I don't think I've ever met, but I've always respected her work. She was had a big post about all the stages, about the 6 stages of fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia. Oh my goodness. Whew. She's going through tough times, a lot of pain, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And yeah, I also am very emotional, so I cried when I read her post because you could feel the pain that she goes through. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And yeah, I feel for her. I feel what she's going through. And other sufferers, people were saying, well, I've got this, I've got that. All those sufferings, pain. And my thing is just to witness it, but at the moment I feel it with them. Yeah, I'm hypersensitive to all of that, and it's like, ouch. That's why the video of Belfast Street, that's all I'm going to say about it. That had me in tears too, and I can't get rid of that. And the guy had learning difficulties and he was just helping someone out. And that's what he got. And it's like, I cried for him. It's hard to make sense of the world like when it's doing this. And I can feel everybody sort of pecking around trying to put their slant on it, their spin on it, trying to but I don't actually care about the politics. I care about the guy that was in that video. I care about the lady that is struggling hard with fibromyalgia. The political side of it, it's always like, it feels like sleight of hand. Like, I'm doing one thing with one hand and I'm sort of distracting you with another. And it's like all the political side, to hell with all of that. Hey, can we just look at the victim and make sure he's all right and make sure that sort of thing doesn't happen again, please? And I'm not the only one who's pointing this out. We're just, yeah, this jingle is one. We don't celebrate toxic positivity or false hope. Just honest sound for honest people trying to make it through. If you need permission to feel what you feel, you have it. Dark Moon Radio, trying to make sense in the world. Yeah, trying to make sense in the world, in a totally and utterly senseless world. Because the patterns are so obvious, the political patterns, that I can play with. I understand the political patterns. But it's like the people that are on the streets, And it's like the people that are being hurt. And it's like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Yeah. Okay, so this one was one of my, this is one of my heavy duty emotional ones. It's called Witness the Pain. But to witness something is what I think that a lot of us are here for. We're not taking part in the bigger picture of things. We're not influencing. We're not making things happen. We're not a mover or a shaker of the world. We're a witnesser. This is healing as an honesty, not as a performance. Take your time. Take your time. Easy now. The hurt does not get to rule you, but you are going to give it a voice. We are not calming the storm. We are stepping into it. You are seen, you are no white heard, light, no loved. Silver ladder. Oh, no, everything happens for a reason, bullshit. I hear you, and I love you. We are. For all your strength, with ribs tight, for all your memories that still survive this. You survive this, and you thrive it. This is where the place is that hurts the most. Been there before. Turn away. Pain is not the enemy. It is sensation that's lost its witness. Not to soothe. This message that never lands. To stay. Let the ache have a voice. Let the grief speak its ugly language. Let the body tell the truth that it's been holding far too long. Pain is not the enemy. It's a sensation that lost its witness. It's a message that never landed. A scream. So we listen. Stay with it. 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 We're not calming the storm. We're stepping into it. Not if it takes us. And it looks us round and round, and it fucking hurts. White light, no silver ladder. Name its weight. Everything happens for its temperature. Teeth clenched. Let it be exactly what it is. The memories still bleed when touched. Pain, 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 pain. This is the place where it hurts. We're not going to turn away. Survive this, even if you don't feel brave, even if you don't feel whole. Part of you is still back there. Part isn't broken, it's frozen. We're not going to turn away. This is a place where it hurts. So we thaw slowly, we have without to see force. It and feel it. Pain moves when it's allowed. Feels another weakness. I'm going to breathe again. And another breath, not to soothe, but to stay. I stay. You stay. Breathe again. Escape. Witness to anchor. We love. Hello, pain. Stay with it. I'm sorry. Stay with it. Please forgive me. Thank you. You are here now. This body is yours. This moment has edges and the hurt does not get to rule you, but it does get to speak. The hurt does not get to rule you, but it does get to speak. You give it a voice, you hold. Stay with it. And when it is finished, and when it finally exhales, what remains is not emptiness. Only you remain. It's space. What remains is space. It grows its roots. You know this space. You've been here so many times. Pain makes the space return. You are here now. You are right here, right now. This body is still yours. It's not healing as a performance. Give it away. It's healing as a honest. Surrender control. And you're allowed to take your time. Edgeless and is grounded. The hurt does not get to you. It's not your trauma. It's just sweet. Listen while it's listen. And when it is finished, finally exhales. The pain knows the way out. What remains is space. Space. Are you listening? Your life, your creativity. You're allowed time. Stay, breathe, witness. Stay, breathe, witness. Ah, there we go. A lot of my music has basically hypnosis and subliminals on it. I'm not going to hide that. I'm a hypnotist. I learnt NLP and all of that long time ago. And in a lot of ways, I learned it the hard way. It was used on me, but yeah, it's still a nice. I use it to empower. Right, so I'm interested in frequencies and words of spelling, the witchcraft of words, and that's basically NLP. It's an interesting hobby that I've had. But okay, let's get back to my notes. I put my notes together. This is what I want to talk about. Right, crow politics. The crows are having words, loud words, important crow words. The sort of argument that seems absolutely essential. I'm convinced that today's disagreements is the most important thing in the world. The crows seem equally convinced. By tomorrow, everyone will have forgotten what the argument was about. The world will continue turning, and crows will still be crows, and life will be moving on. There's probably some wisdom in there, okay? One of the things I do see is the patterns of trends and how, especially Twitter and even so, getting involved in a Facebook thing is not worth it because I disagree with big chunks of it. I'm not that way inclined, and yeah, I have a lot of friends that I enjoy their posts. I've been on Facebook for many, many years. I'm Generation X. We were around when it first came out. And it's a pain now because it's full of adverts. But I still have some good friends there that I've known for decades. I've never met them, but we interact maybe once, twice a year sometimes. But I enjoy that. I enjoy the continuity of friendship over the years. I may not enjoy their political opinions, and also the fact that they're often not from England. So one of the things I've noticed is Americans have a very different political system, and they use the same terminology, but they don't mean the same thing. Right wing, left wing can mean very different things in America than it does to English. Political side to things, they have things like Democrats and Republicans, which I'm only slightly aware of. I try not to get involved with American politicians or politics because I am not American. How would I understand it? It's a different culture. It may be the same language, but it definitely is a different culture. Because, yeah, it to me, it's from a foreigner looking in. It's like I can only see part of what's going on. It's like my nose is up against a glass. I can't actually hear what's going on. And I don't like listening to politicians talk. I will read what they say, but listening to politicians talk is annoying. A lot of the time they use influencing language, like NLP and hypnosis as well. It's like whoa, 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 whoa. So I often either have the volume down very, very, or I just I like now you've got subtitles. I'd much rather read the subtitles of a politician than listen to the language, because the listening, I know this goes in. I know that what they are saying is they are being as persuasive as possible. And it's like, what? And I don't enjoy politicians. I certainly don't enjoy the ones that are meant to be in government in the UK right now. Um, it's like, how the heck? What the expletive is going on there? It's beyond me. I don't want to look too deeply because it suckers you in. And yes, then you end up sort of taking a side too much. Now, I have taken a side. I have to. It's common sense to take the side that I have taken, and it's common sense. Um, and I will dance around that because I know better to get to. Discernment is a very, very needing. You listen to the language and you watch it rope you in, and then yeah, I have a stubbornness in building. Basically, it says, no way, I'm not doing as I'm told. Well, everyone says, I'm not doing as I'm told. Right? You can try and persuade me, but I will work it out for myself and do it my own way. I'm not doing as I'm told. And I've had to build that over the years as a defense mechanism against all this bollocks that is spilling out. And you're like, no, you're seriously not teaching me how to think. No way. My thoughts are sacrosanct, right? They're my thoughts. I am responsible for them, but it's also my responsibility not to act on them. I don't act on my thoughts because I know they're mostly bollocks, but they're mine. I will sort that out. And when somebody says to me, "Oh well, your thinking is racist," fuck right off. You have no right to tell me how to think, and I certainly would not give you the discourtesy of telling you how to think. Your thoughts are your own, and quite frankly, the more weird and wonderful they are, the better. The more creative they are. How you act is, yeah, that's a different story. But I will not give someone the discourtesy of telling them how to think. Um, that's one of the big no-nos. Big no-nos. Okay, let's play another tune. Where is it? The Witch's Will. There it is. This one I like. Your will is sacrosanct. In other words, do what you will, but harm none. Now, that's an old one. But harm none also includes don't harm yourself. But again, I don't like that so much. There was like a guy named Alistair Crowley, who you may or may not have heard of. He was a bit of an asshole. He was a misogynistic asshole. There is no doubts about it. I'd like to call him something stronger, but Americans don't like that word. But Alistair Crowley, um, he did a lot of work in things. I've lost the chain of thought. Your will, yes, that's it. So that the will is be the whole of the law. Now again, this very masculine stuff. When you're putting it down and dictating. But the witch's will, your will, be the whole of the law. So in other words, do what you want. But the harm none stuff came out of the Wiccan stuff, which is not a bad thing to look at. I don't like harming people, but I will if I have to. In other words, I have done when I've had to. I'm not a good witch of the north or south. I'm not a bad witch either. This duality thing, where it's like black and white, where it's good against bad, that's very Abrahamic. That's not my religion. My religion doesn't come with nice little boxes of that's good, that's bad, that's manipulative, you shouldn't do that. And it's like, everybody's freaking doing it. Don't tell me that manipulative magic is bad when I've seen your American president use it, right? Listen to those words. Yeah, my British prime minister hasn't got the brains for it, but he has tried to. but Boris certainly did. And I'll tell you who the master of it all was frickin' Tony Blair. Now, there was a nasty piece of work who could use manipulative magic. Okay, so this idea of a tidy package of that's bad and that's good, that doesn't work with me. Okay, there's so many grey areas, and if you have to defend yourself, okay, let's use an example. Mirror magic. Return to sender. This is some of the most manipulative magic out. Some people don't know they cast, right? Some people don't know that they are sending egregores or servitors out. They don't know. It's done in ignorance, and you sending it back could do them a lot of harm when they didn't mean it. They didn't know what they were doing. So that is manipulative magic, return to sender. Most people have frozen their power. They're not allowed to move forward for a bit. And that, again, is manipulative magic. I'm not saying it's bad, right? Because bad, good, that's all relative terms. If you need to defend yourself, you need to defend yourself. Each situation demands witnessing and being cool-headed. To be able to harm someone, most people can do that. Guys that are bigger, if you're a big guy, you can certainly harm someone, and you learn to control that. It's exactly the same thing with thought projection and power. It's like you learn to not do it, because most of the time, the person that is trying to harm you will harm themselves along the way anyway. But your will is a very powerful thing. And if you can focus pressure, and you don't need to project negative energy, you can just feed off positive energy. Yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't publicized out there. It's an interesting wave, and it's something I've always been interested in. I was looking back at when I was a kid, and I would have liked to have sort of specialized in something, but I did. But it wasn't something I could capitalize on. I can't monetize it. I talk too much. Play the damn tune. Witch's Will.
Your power is not in avoiding storms, but standing as the lightning strikes, in feeling rage in all its forms, in weathering the dark dislikes that rise inside like energy floods. That's where the real witch lives.
This by now. This is the law beneath all laws. The pulse that moves through bone and rose. The power living in your flaws. They built a world to eat your will, to scatter you across 1,000 screens, to drain you slow, to keep you still, to make you forget what
Surrender
power
is not
means, but opening to what is true,
allowing every buried fear to flow like water through and through, until you find beneath the pain you are the vast and open sky, emotions come,
but stubbornness is her work. The muscle underneath the spell refused to shrink or shrink. When everything inside you wants to dwell in comfort, in easy life, in distractions that multiply, and you're just a husk that walks through days that blur, a ghost that talks,
builds the power that
but
turns your
cannot
visions
move
into
the
form.
way which cannot meet reality flinch. The witch knows tools are beautiful, but secondary to fire. Tools are beautiful, It's secondary to fire. It burns inside the dutiful, the ones that feed their own desire with acts of willful choice. The dishes washed, the bed that's made, the finding of your truest voice. When every instinct screams, be afraid. You build a picture in your mind so clear it breathes, so real it bleeds. Then thrust your will, fierce and unconfined, into the space where magic breeds.
Your will is everything. Your will is everything. Your focus. How you touch the divine. Guard them both like sacred springs. The power, the which is always yours.
But you know the universe pushes back. Force what shouldn't come and crack. Your chest explodes, your body pays for 3 long purging, painful days. Manipulation bends another will, and yes, it works. Let's not pretend it's still. But debts accumulate until you're a prisoner of the shape you penned. Chaos magic laughs, twists, and extends. Gives you exactly what you asked for in forms you could have never guessed. Leaves you reeling, stunned and masked, and feeling quite a mess.
Built world to eat your will, to scatter you across 1,000 screens, to drain you slow, to keep you still, to forget your power.
Your power is not avoiding storms, but standing as the lightning strikes, in feeling rage in all its forms, in weathering the dark dislikes that rise inside like ancient floods. That's where the real witch lives, in burning grief and sacred muds, and taking all that life gives.
Do like the beat on that. That's cool. That's a nice beat. Okay, so yeah, I've gone over. I'm not good at keeping to the hour. I used to do 2 hours. What can I say? But I've got to go out, so I've got to finish up. But cat is shedding. Okay, he's a very lovely pussycat. He's a scruffy little thing right now, because he's like long hair and short hair. He's like, he has got long hair cat distant ancestry. So he gets really fluffy in the winter. His tail is really fluffy, but he's got a lot of short hair in there as well. So he gets a very scruffy little boy. And he's shedding like everywhere. Like everywhere. And the dog sheds as well. In fact, the dog is bigger and there's clumps of him. But there's pretty much clumps of him all year round. There's more of the cat this year, right now. And it's like soft white ginger fur decorating every surface, in clumps in places, including my new duvet cover. Especially my new duvet cover. My new duvet cover is aubergine. I like it because it's in between sort of purple and ginger cat shed all over it. It's now a lot lighter than it was. The universe has its rules. One of these rules seems to be, newer the something is, the more attractive it becomes to cat fur. And shedding is an interesting thing. You know, nature lets go of what's no longer needed. Okay, so again, metaphors. It's like I look at it, I'm annoyed because I've tried rubbing it off, but it's just it's like very, very fine fur. Letting go what the cat doesn't need anymore. Trees, animals, birds, even canals. Everything is always shedding somewhere. These are my thoughts when I was sitting on deck after the kingfisher left. And it's like, okay, how do I shed? Humans do it too. Well, I know I've got long hair and it sheds all over the place. I guess that. We get dog hair, cat fur, human hair shedded. Yes, okay. But old ways of thought. Yeah, of course, I always come back to this. Old ways of thinking, old habits, old expectations, old versions of ourselves. I was watching something last night on YouTube, and it was about consciousness. I'm quite fascinated by consciousness, always have been. The way we think, the way we feel, the way we are conscious. And this was telling us that we are the collapsing waveform. Now, okay, my brain was struggling with it because I was very tired and I was trying to understand quantum physics while I was very tired. Okay, but what I did get was the waveform collapses 40 times a second. And in that collapsing waveform, they reckon that's where our consciousness lies. Yeah. I have a problem with that one too. Yeah, there is doesn't quite compute, but in the waveform itself. So we are constantly shedding the outdated ways of thinking, of being ourselves. It was going into all kinds of things like when you have an inner knowing, when you just know something before a language arrives. Now I read tarot. You can find me on weavesofwaves.net if you want to book a tarot reading. But the inner knowing, when you are using your intuition, when you know something, when you feel the vibe in a room, when you walk into it, this is all beyond language. Beyond it's us, it's our consciousness. So there was stuff there that I didn't quite get, and I fully admit I was struggling very hard to understand. But older versions ourselves, we reinvent ourselves at 40 times a second. Whew, that's unimaginable. I can't get my head around that. But it's not always comfortable. All right? When you kind of like parts of yourself and you have to shed them. And it's kind of a loss and you've got to go through grief. Sometimes it's a bit traumatizing. Reinventing yourself. But it's inevitability. You know that guy that clicked his fingers and he made half the universe disappear. And his words was, I am inevitable. Well, old versions of ourselves, it's inevitable that we have to shed them. Okay. I know I've gone over. I don't care.
You think you're empty. You think there's nothing left. But you keep finding one more breath, one more step. That well runs deeper than you know. Dark Moon Radio. Trust what's inside.
Even though inside you may be shedding. Certainly we shed hair and skin cells. But they say that we rebuild our body every 7 years. We are really creatures of impermanence. And yeah, that's... But here's a closing thought for you. The kingfisher did not stay, and the crows are still doing their thing out there. The cat is still molting, and the sun, can't see it, it's still drizzly out there. The canal waits patiently for warmer days, and life does not always arrive as grand revelations. Sometimes it arrives as a little, colourful bluebird on a rope. A brief visit, a small moment, a reminder to look up from whatever worries occupy the mind, and simply notice what is here now. And today, that seems enough. Okay, I will be back tomorrow morning, sometime between 8 and 9. I know, at least I'm here. I do my hour a day. It's just sometimes I have to mess with the times a bit. Love you lots. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye now.
Time. 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 I dislike the passing of time, but it is a good concept to put into rhyme. It goes too fast or too slow. My brain is always on the go. It was an inflicted thing that watches you tick while it rings.